We got a live guest, though, don't we?
Yeah, we got our live guest from Metafora, our guest of the week. We've got Stephen Godfrey, who is here, the Vice President of Technology at Metafora. Stephen, thank you for joining us on FreightWaves Now. We're excited to have you.
Thank you. Great to be here. Good morning.
Stephen, I know you really want to talk about roller dogs and cooking on turbos and stuff like that, but let's jump into data management. When we talk about data management in your mind, what's the definition?
Well, data management is really about how we collect, protect, and store that data in an organization so that we can use it to make better decisions. I mean, data is so important in our lives. In our personal lives, we use it to make decisions, but of course, in our business and corporate lives, we do. And the more we have, usually the better it is, but it also makes it much more difficult to deal with and confusing.
When we're talking about data management, there's a ton of kind of very niche issues in the industry that can be talked about just by using good data management and be handled just by having a good handle on your data. Can you talk about what some of those issues are and how data management can help resolve them?
Yeah, absolutely. In this industry in particular, there's been a lot of M&A activity over the last few years. So there's a lot of disparate technology out there that companies have when they do these acquisitions. So data is so spread out; it's all over the place. Think of it like silos on a farm. They're not always connected the way that they need to be. So the first part is really about how can you bring all that data together. It's always going to be in different formats. It's always going to be, maybe not readable in the same way and used in the same way for making those decisions. So there's really a ton of prep work that's needed to get it into the right format to, actually even before that, to make sure that all the stakeholders in your company know what data they have, know what you want to do with it, know the decisions you want to make so you can figure out how to get it all together. And then integrating it all is a big challenge, making sure that you can actually get it into one place where you can make that analysis or do that analysis. And there's a ton of great tools that, the cloud providers have these days between, various AI and ML tools that are out there to analyze that data. That's almost the easy part. This is kind of a funny one where tech is almost the easier part in all of this. The hard one is just getting all that data together within your organization and getting all those stakeholders together.
So should people be looking at the way they're managing their data right at this moment before they start the integration and bring in new tech, or is there best practices that they can follow?
Yeah, I think they absolutely should be looking at it because the cost of integrations is pretty high, right? There's a lot of work to do to get that. So you want to make sure that data is actually going to be valuable to you, that it's going to contribute to those decisions, to those KPI measurements, to whatever you're looking at. So really looking at what's necessary, what data do you want to integrate, and how to get it into that one place as quickly and as cheaply as possible. The more integrations you have, the more it's going to constrain the scalability in an organization, both from a technology and a business decision-making point of view. So really looking at the quality of the data before you start to undertake any integration projects, make sure it is going to give you the information that you need. Make sure you have all those stakeholders in your organization on board so that they're ready to support you with the people and the resources that are required. And all those things will help speed up those integration projects, which the goal is to get that data into that one place to then, make that analysis and those decisions on it afterwards.
So as a Freight Tech Consulting Group, it's quite literally y'all's job at Metafora to go in and take a look at the way that companies are currently handling their data and kind of figure out where their pain points are and what they can do better. What are some of the most common issues that you see with the way that companies are currently doing things? And how do you guys get them started on that first step to maybe doing things a little bit better?
Yeah, a lot of the things I've said already are really some of the most common things that people are doing, just that challenge of, data being spread out throughout the organization, very often hiding in those closets all over the place, not knowing what's actually there and what's available for you to take advantage of. So one of the first things we recommend is to, again, get those stakeholders in the business together, make sure you know what's available, and make sure you have the data you need to get to those decisions you want to make, whatever those are, whatever those key insights or those KPIs are. So that's really the first step. It's really an organizational and governance activity. We can help corral those folks as well through some of the approaches that we take. And then once you do that, then it becomes much more of a technical issue to start to build those integrations. And we have we have a quick start program that we look at with some companies around how do we get those stakeholders on board? How do we start to get some of that data flowing through the organization into that central place and do it? Start with a POC, start small on how POC meaning proof of concept, but start small on how you can get some data into a place where you can get some key insights on it.
When you're talking about that data being spread out, are you still seeing a lot of groups maybe using some people working on pen and paper, some people working in Excel, some people working in Google Sheets, some people working in this outside software and using that as kind of the starting point of having to bring everything together? And is there any hesitation on people to kind of give up their ways? I know, like, I'm a pen and paper person, right? I love to write everything down. That's how I get my stuff done. But do you guys see those hesitations as trying to break people out of their mold?
Yeah, I'm not sure we see too much pen and paper, to be honest with you, in enterprise tech, but we certainly do see Google Sheets and Excel data. We certainly do see people kind of holding on to their data because it's either, it's valuable, it's secretive, it's whatever. They just don't want to let it go. But disparate tech can mean anything. It can mean Excel sheets on somebody's laptop. So that's why it's so important to just get all that together, to identify it and get it all together and then be able to take actions on it. The part about people holding on to data, again, that's why we look at governance and stakeholders and bringing them all into that fold of what the goal is, what the objectives are of whatever project you're trying to undertake. Again, whatever key insights you're trying to get out of that data, getting those people on board up front is really key to any kind of data project.
So, Stephen, I've always been one of these people I'm not big on just reporting for the sake of reporting. I'm not big on having data just to have data, right? Is there ways is that an issue when trying to build your database and bring it together, or are there best practices that you can recommend for keeping and siloing the correct data?
Oh, for sure. No, that's a great point. I mean, too much data is not a good thing either, right? We all know about analysis by paralysis or whatever it is, but too much data definitely does not help either. It almost complicates things further. So again, that's why I say it's not a technology problem from the beginning. It's a business problem. Figure out what those KPIs are, what those key decision points are. Do you want to get more insights into your pricing? Do you want to get more insights into how your carriers are performing? Whatever those objectives are, start with those up front and then follow that through to figuring out what data do you need in order to support that.
Gotcha.
So Stephen, we love having your team from Metaphora on with us on a weekly basis, and you guys are growing pretty big right now. I keep seeing all of your LinkedIn posts looking for more talent to join to the team. If people want to get in touch with you guys at Metaphora and maybe take a look at jumping into the consulting side of things, where can they go to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great place to be. I've been there about 2 years now. It's a great team. Really love what we do and get to solve some interesting problems. Find us on our website, metaphora.net, our blog, and you can get in touch with us there.
Go check out you guys', I think you're doing Freight Tech Tuesdays as well right now. I keep seeing Ryan Schreiber post about that on LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Ryan's everywhere. Yeah.
Yes,
all right, Stephen, thank you for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Stephen. Very, very important, gathering data and making sure you've got the right data and it's separated correctly.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break right now. We'll be back with more FreightWaves Now and a conversation about why gas prices are so high and what you can do about it with our enterprise trucking expert, Thomas Wasson, coming up in just a few minutes.